Hello and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host Bryan. Friday's new format is new music every single Friday. Today we're going to be looking at a track that is a bit older. The music video did come out 8 months ago, however, the album dropped today, and I want to check this out. It is Skindred. Now, here's a band that I haven't heard in years. I did see them perform once. I had no idea what any of the songs were, but they put on a stellar performance. Um, but like most people, I've heard Get Out Alive, is that what it was called? Back in the mid 2000s, and I haven't heard anything from Skindred since. So I didn't even know they were still making music. Let's dive into this and see what they're doing with Give Me That Boom.
Just give me that boom, boom, boom. Just give me that boom, boom. Just give me that boom, boom, boom. Just give me that. I don't care what you got. Just give me that boom, boom, boom. Just give me that boom, boom. Just give me that boom, boom, boom. Just give me that. I don't care what you got. Just give me that. Stand to attention. I come to mention. Now we're gonna take you in a different direction. That's the way we rock and make them move them body. We got those over there asking for selfies. This time I got to say no. Don't try to pull down my bandana. Can't let you ruin my shoe. Then I hear them say, turn around, stupid. Turn around, stupid. Stupid, turn around, stupid. Now turn around. I don't care what you got, just give me that.
Yeah, okay.
Just give me that, give me that. Just give me that. I don't care what you got, just give me that. Just give me that. Just give me that, give me that.
It's so simple, but so effective.
Just give me that. All in all, this place is crawling. Y'all them a move on the body, them balling. Electricity just
Oh, I like that, some sort of metal percussion.
we got the vibes and the vibes is good, good. You know we're rocking in the dark neighborhood, hood. You know the dread are gonna bring it like we should. Can I hear them say? Turn around, stupid. Turn around, stupid. Turn around, stupid. Stupid, turn around.
I don't know what the song's about, but just the line, turn around,
Care
stupid,
what you got, just give me that.
repeated over and over, I find very comical.
Just give me that, give me that. Just give me that. I don't care what you got, just give me that. Just give me that. Just give me that, give me that. Just give me that. I don't care what you got, just give me that. Just give me that.
We got some sort of synth or outside. Well, it kind of sounds like a siren now, like an alarm. The bass guitar is getting eat up by the bass kick though. They're sort of merging together into a single sound, but the punchiness of the percussion is just overpowering it.
Now switch back to that. I don't care what you got, just give me that. Just give me that. Just give me that, give me that. Just give me that. I don't care what you got, just give me that. Just give me that. Just give me that, give me that. Just give me that. I don't care what you got, just give me that. Just give me that. Just give me that.
Ah, there the bass is coming through a little clearer.
Give me that.
Yeah, so we have a pretty solid uh crowd pumper upper track. I mean, I know this is what they do well, at least based on the general sound I heard at that concert like 20 years ago. Geez, was it? Oh my god, I feel old now. It was probably a little. It was not 20 years ago, but it was probably close. Um, and nobody gets out alive. Um, this is what they write. It's really catchy, really punchy, lots of energy and electricity, and they do it with grooves that make you want to move your body. There's nothing um, really pushing boundaries on this track. There's nothing here that's going to turn minds. It is a simple hard rock track with a ton of energy and presence. Um, One thing that I really like that they do, and I think a lot of it comes from the vocals here, and what sets them apart a little bit is the rhythmic syncopation that we get in the verse, not necessarily between the guitars and drums, which is where our syncopation usually comes from in a lot of music in the rock and metal field, but from the vocals against the rock and drums. Sorry, the drums and guitar. The drums and guitar don't really deviate that much at all. They lay down their rhythm, they lay down their idea, and the vocals come in on the outside of that with a very rhythmic oriented approach. It's sort of texture oriented too, especially when you look at the variety of vocal ranges and styles that the vocalist utilizes in the verse. Primarily, the chorus is one note, really going with that loud, wide sound, very blunt vocal delivery with a ton of impact. But in the verse, we get a standard range vocal. We have one that's a bit more nasally and higher pitched. He also brings in a little bit of a growl to emphasize specific syllables. It bounces around, it moves. There's the natural inflection of speech that goes on in his delivery as well. I don't necessarily want to say that it was rapping because I feel like it has more of a focus on melody than rap typically does, but there is more of a rhythmic focus on it than traditional clean singing typically has. And I think that presents a really nice, unique middle point for this band where there seems to be equal weight to melody, pacing, rhythm, and texture in the vocals, where usually a vocalist is going to focus on two, maybe three of those aspects instead of all simultaneously. And I think it's what draws me to Skindred, and where I think that they sort of stand out from the rest of the pack, because the drum and bass and guitar work, they're iterative. We have one bar guitar phrases. The bass is often playing something similar to either what the guitar is or what the bass kick on the drum is, and the drums are very sitting in the pocket. That metronomic style of drumming that works very well for this style and allows the song to be as rhythmically groovy as it is. If the drums were more technical, it would take away, I think, from the groove and syncopation in here. They could certainly make something more technical and aim for that syncopation in we could call it a proggier way, but I think that would detract from the overall sound of the band. They aim for that simplicity. The groove is supposed to be easily felt, not complexively felt. That's not a word, but we're gonna roll with it. And at the end of the day, I'm just saying that simple radio rock does what radio rock does well, and it's sort of cyclical, but it's a formula that absolutely works. So, um, yeah, and like I said, they pull it off with a little bit of flair that other bands don't, and I think that's what's helped them stand out as long as they have. Is there something? Oh, I do have one criticism, which might not be fair, but I'm gonna say it anyways. The end wasn't great. Primarily because I don't know what was going on with the bridge. The bridge is led into kind of well, but goes in a direction that they don't know how to come back out of. And eventually the singer just says, let's go back to that other stuff, like quite literally. I don't remember what the exact line was, but paraphrasing, he says, let's go back to that last thing. And then there's just a hard break, and we go back to that pre chorus of Turn Around Stupid. And like, it just doesn't work. The lead in's fine. I think they move into that idea fine, but it goes in a direction the song doesn't have anything to do with, and it doesn't know how to come back out of that. And so that was kind of awkward. Coming back into our final chorus, that kind of took me out of the song for a moment. And then the heavy repetition. Like the chorus is already very repetitive, and then we repeated it twice in the end, and I'm done. I was done with it. And that's the unfortunate double-edged sword of doing something like this, where you have these super catchy lines that I think work well for a live setting. You have this crowd participation. I know the lyrics for the chorus already. I mean, it's not like they're a lot, but there's the rhythmic thing to worry about as well. And if I had heard this live by this final chorus, I might have been participating with the rest of the audience, and singing it along with the bands. And it would have been this awesome moment. But here in my room, I don't have that. And now I'm just kind of done with the song and waiting for it to move on. And it's not. It still has 40 seconds of life in it. Um, so, like I said, it's a double edged sword writing a song for. What would we call this? Its simplicity, specifically, or catchability, is that writing a strong hook, possibly, and utilizing it as often as they do here. I think it works absolutely well for a live setting, but it can be hit and miss outside of that. And like I said, hit and miss, because it could absolutely be a hit. If you really love that chorus, you're glad that you get to listen to it two more times. And I'm sure if you're singing along to it in your car, that's pretty awesome too. Or maybe if you're a cover band, uh, that guitar riff. I mean, it's a cool guitar riff. It's got that rule of cool element to it, right? Tons of power, cool syncopation, but it's a simple riff too. I don't know. It might be fun to play. And see, I think that's the key word here is it's fun. I'm obviously overthinking it, right? Radio rock doesn't do too well for heavy not introspective, but heavy breakdown like this. There's some songs that happen to be songs that can be broken down and better understood through looking at the mechanics of it, but not all of them do. And an anthemic song like this, most anthem songs don't do well with that because the simplicity is its strength. And trying to look for anything more than that is fruitless, usually. I'm going to hit some lyrics here, not that I think I need to, but I just want to double check, make sure I didn't miss anything, and then we'll wrap this up. Alright, two things going into the lyrics. One, I don't know why this didn't click with me during the track, but looking at the lyrics, y'all remember Saliva? Remember the song Boom? That's what this reminds me of, kind of in the same vein musically as well, but also the simplicity of the chorus based around the onomatopoeia of Boom. And I love that track from Saliva. It's really good. That's a good one from back in the day. Another good way to hype an audience up. Anyways, the second thing I want to lean into is that I had a very different idea of what the song was going to be about. The idea of asking someone to turn around and give me that boom, I figured was going to have a bit of sexualization in it. But it's not, which I'm quite happy about. I don't know that I would have specifically come to this conclusion without the interview. However, the singer explained that the song is about people coming up to him, asking him to turn around, and wanting that boom, wanting that clout, wanting the autograph or the picture or the selfie for their Instagram. He says that there's certainly fans out there who are a bit more accepting that you're a human with your own needs and wants and stuff like that, but that there's a lot of people who just expect you to turn around and give them that autograph regardless of what you're doing or where you're at. And they all want it for their clout so they can put it up on their social medias. And that's where the line comes from. It says, "Turn around, stupid. I don't care what you got. I don't care what's going on with your life. I just want that boom." Right? I want that burst of clout on my whatever. It could be your social media. It could just be going back to your buddies. Hey, I met, this guy and I got a picture with him. It was so awesome. Uh, you know, I got this picture. It was awesome for me. Look what I did. And nothing in this conversation about, how I interrupted this guy's day. And that's what the song's all about. Verse 1 is about, going through his day, and just out of nowhere, he can already hear them say, "Hey, turn around, stupid. I want my boom." All right. He says, "This time I gotta say no. Don't try to pull down my bandana. I can't let you ruin my show. I got my own life to live here. I've got things I need to do, and sometimes I need to turn you down, and that doesn't make me a bad celebrity. It doesn't mean I'm not engaging with my fans. Just I have a need for personal space too. I'm just asking for a basic human element here." However, the second verse is a hype verse. It sounds like it just talks about how awesome they are, always bringing the energy and the good vibes and rocking the neighborhood. And when we're here, we're gonna bring it, that kind of stuff. And he says, even though, as big as we are, that's why people ask us. He says, "I can hear them to tell me to turn around, stupid." I don't know why he chose to use the word stupid, especially since the stupid would be implied at him, but I guess it's the way that he perceives these fans to perceive him as possibly a clown, an entertainer. You're here for my entertainment, that kind of idea. But that pre-chorus, man, cracks me up every time. I think it's the way that he says stupid, and the way that he emphasizes the stew. There's just this heavy emphasis at the beginning of the word, which I think is interesting because PID has the harder sounds in it phonetically. But yeah, so that's what the song's about. He's just tired of people not being respectful of his place. Like if he's in an area where he's doing autographs, sure, come up. But you just see him out in the middle of the store. I don't know where he shops, but like leave me alone. Just trying to buy some clothes or something. Um, and usually we would try to find a connection between the music and lyrics, but when it comes to hard rock like this, it really isn't much. They write catchy music and some catchy lyrics, and that's it. They just smash them together. So those are my thoughts on Skindred's "Gimme That Boom." Their album comes out today. If you enjoyed this, you can go find the rest of it on streaming platforms, all of them, I would assume. I'm going to check it out. At least a couple of tracks. I don't know if I could do an entire album of just hype bangers like this. I think they're good in isolation, but like even this track began to wear on me even just 3 minutes into it. So I could listen to more though. Not a lot more, but I could listen to more like this, see what they're up to these days. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comments. Did you enjoy this? Do you have your own perspective and opinion on this track? Let me know. Above that, in the description box, is a link to Linktree. It'll take you to this menu here. You can find links to my music, ways to support the channel, and a link to the Discord server, and a bunch of other stuff. Just go ahead and check it out. Above that, if you could, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. We have one more video for today. It's going to be a new track from the Hirsch Effect that just came out yesterday, I think. Looking forward to that because I like that group. And otherwise, though, I'll be back tomorrow. We have a bonus track, a bonus reaction in the morning. You might want to keep your eye out for that. But then we'll also have our album tomorrow evening as usual. Until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical, of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.